Hi, today I'm at the pond in my garden and my goal is to take pictures of dragonflies, but not when they're sitting on a flower, but in flight. This can be quite challenging sometimes, and I have been asked by quite some people, how should I do this, what settings do I need, and so on. So I thought today this video will be kind of a tutorial with all the settings, tips about the location, light and so on that you need to take pictures of dragonflies in flight. In photography, I always think light is one of the most important aspects, so let's start with this. Right now it's around 9:30 in the morning, and as you can see, the pond here is still in the shadow, but the background that is reflecting in the water is already partially in the sun, meaning if I'm taking pictures from here and imagine the dragonfly is just in front of me, behind there is the reflection. This reflection is giving kind of bright and vivid colors, which I really like, but it's important to make sure that this background is some vegetation or something greenish, brownish, whatever. I would avoid to have the blue sky. It's, for my taste, just too bright and it's a bit boring because it's just one blue surface, so that's something I would avoid. So just find here a perspective that you like, and I would avoid shooting when the light is directly hitting the dragonfly. I just find that then the contrasts get a bit too strong quite quickly. This might really work in the last couple of minutes before the sun is going down, but otherwise I would avoid it. What also works quite nice as an alternative to this is just overcast weather, then you can shoot the whole day. And of course too early in the morning this will not really work, because dragonflies, as basically all insects, they need a certain temperature until they get active. Last night was really warm, so it didn't cool down so much overnight. This is why already at 9 AM I saw the first one flying around. But this might really depend on your local conditions, and I would always invest some time to find the perfect location, to find the good timing, and then you can go to take pictures when you already have some idea in mind. So let's move to the camera. What do I have here? Well, my R5, which is the only camera that I currently own, and I decided to go for the 100 to 500 millimeter lens from Canon, but I have also taken pictures with DSLRs and the 150 millimeter Sigma macro in the past, so this definitely works quite well. I just thought that the 100 to 500 is a bit more flexible with the zoom. I have a bit more focal length, so I can keep a bit more distance, and finally the autofocus is just so much quicker than on a macro lens. And this is why I thought for this kind of shooting it might be a bit better suited. This also holds true for 100 to 400, 70 to 200, maybe the 400 millimeter f5.6 from Canon. It's a bit an older lens, but apparently the autofocus is supposed to be super fast, so I could imagine, I never tried it, but I could imagine this would be almost a perfect lens for this scenario. And of course the equivalent lenses of Sony and Nikon work great as well. So let's move to the kind of basic settings of the camera. First of all, you will need a rather short shutter speed, so for really freezing the action and having even the wings perfectly sharp, you might need a 2500th of a second. If you have a bit of higher tolerance for some blurriness in the tip of the wings, maybe 1600th or 2000th of a second is fine. I would just try a bit different values here and see what you like. Then on my 100 to 500, it's not the fastest lens in terms of light that is coming in, so I tend to shoot it wide open, meaning depending a bit on the focal length I have, this varies from f5 to f5.6. If you have a f2.8 lens, you can also stop down a bit, and this will just increase your depth of field a bit. This might really depend also on the background, how structured this is, how much of the dragonfly you want to have in focus, and so on. For me it's perfectly fine if just the head and the eyes are in focus and the behind part of the body is blurry. Because one thing you also want to keep in mind is that under these conditions, so no direct sunlight, a super short shutter speed, this automatically means the ISO are going to increase. I think before I was around at 4000 or even 5000 ISO. So afterwards in post some noise reduction might help, but I would not stop down too much, because otherwise, yeah, I think if you go to f8 or something, you might end up at 12,800, 25,600 ISO, and this is just a lot. So the really tricky part here is usually the AF, because you want to have a sharp image. And for my R5 I found out that the AIF, the animal eye detection autofocus, is actually working quite well. With DSLRs I was usually using the zone autofocus, where I have a bigger zone, and then usually the camera tends to focus on the closest subject in this zone. At least this was my experience. And if you have a dragonfly that is flying towards you, this is actually exactly what you want. But if you think it's super easy with the eye autofocus, you're unfortunately a bit wrong, because the problem, if I just take the lens here and point it to the pond, and there would be the dragonfly in front, the camera just tends to focus on the reflection in the pond, so the apple trees that are reflecting in the pond, or if it works a bit better, maybe on some leaves or something that are on the surface of the pond, but it's never focusing on the dragonfly itself. So what I need to do here is basically pre-focus manually, and this means I just, with the focus ring, I throw the focus a bit closer to more or less the region where I expect the dragonfly. I wait, maybe keep one eye a bit out of the viewfinder to see it, and as soon as I see, okay, it's there where I want, I activate the eye autofocus, and from then on the camera is tracking it quite nicely. This of course implicates that you need to kind of anticipate where the dragonfly is going to be, and it's anyway the fact that if the dragonfly is just flying around, it's quite fast, and at least for me it's impossible to take flight shots. But they tend to be hovering on one location for 1 or 2 seconds, then continue the flight, hovering again, and this is something you need to analyze a bit before, kind of the flight patterns of the dragonfly, and then also based on this, and of course the background and accessibility, find a nice shooting position so that it's hovering in a way that it's preferably looking to you, and I found that this works quite well. And then basically when I have everything set up, I just wait until the dragonfly is coming in, stopping in air for a moment. I already have my lens pre-focused from before. I activate autofocus, I shoot like 20 frames or so until it's going further, and that's it. And then I wait until the cycle repeats. Maybe I find a different position. Sometimes they're hovering at different places. I can also go a bit lower and try to have different background. Now it's just coming, and I was already too late. If you have one of the RF lenses, it might not work to manually adjust the focus just on the go. So then you might need to activate the, I think it's called always electronic manual focus in the menu, and afterwards it should be possible to just change the focus like this. And to capture the perfect wing position, it of course helps to have a high frame rate. So with my R5 I'm shooting at the 20 frames per second and the electronic shutter. This works quite well so far. However, on the R7 I made the experience that with the electronic shutter and taking pictures of flying insects, I get a lot of the rolling shutter effect, so the wings look completely distorted, which is really not nice anymore. So there I would maybe go to the electronic first shutter, which drops down to 15 frames per second and makes some noise, but the noise is not an issue here, and 15 frames per second are still fast enough. For other cameras, I'm sorry, I don't know all of them. Of course, with the Sony A1, the Nikon Z9 and Canon R3, rolling shutter is not an issue at all, but with some lower end models it might be. So I would just try it out, have a look at the screen if it's a problem or not, and then adjust accordingly. This is not really helping you to get better pictures of dragonflies in flight, but I find it super cool to see how the larvae of the dragonflies have here climbed up these grasses and then emerged from the larval body, and they usually like spread their wings for the first time, let them dry in the sunlight, and then go for the first flight. So if you have the possibility, I can highly encourage you to go there once during the morning and just observe this. So after taking countless images yesterday and today of the dragonflies in also various light conditions, I wanted to give a small update and corrections to the settings. So usually rolling shutter was not an issue with my R5 if the dragonfly was really like hovering in front of me, but I realized the moment it was about to turn away and increase the speed again, there was definitely rolling shutter noticeable. So if you want to capture kind of these moments, you might want to put it in the electronic first shutter or the mechanical shutter. And when looking a bit closer at the wings, I also noticed that usually the top of the wing was perfectly sharp, but these fine structures more to the bottom of the wings were sometimes blurry. In some situations this was just because the wings were not parallel to the sensor, but rather a bit like this, so they were just out of the focus. In other cases I also had the feeling that 2500 seconds was just still not enough, and when I tried the 4000, 5000 seconds I had way more sharper images where really all of the wings were sharp. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If yes, I would be happy if you could subscribe to the channel, and then I wish you all the best luck on trying this on your own, be it at your own garden at the pond or a local park. It's basically working everywhere where you have dragonflies.